For 169 consecutive years, the forests on the Machias River have resounded with the sound of the woodsman's axe. Yet today, by exercising common sense and practical forestry, we have the finest stand of timber in the Northeast United States. For the past 75 years, my father, my brother, and I have had charge of these timberlands. Knowing that the long lumber industry in Maine was a thing of the past, in 1930 I purchased a moving picture camera to make a record of the long lumber operations on the river and show by our method of forestry the size of the logs we were able to produce. The first scene is the logging camp on Township 36. When I got the crew out of the camp to take the picture, they thought that they were obliged to stand still, not knowing that the moving picture camera required action, but I did get a kick out of Paul Mealy. The men eat and sleep in this building. The dingle is in the middle where the men are coming out. We will now show you a couple of hall boys from Kennebec sawing a pine. The tree is scarfed on the opposite side from which they saw. The next scene is the same crew with Ed Connors and Harry McCreevy on the saw. These men will saw the trees into 3 16-foot logs. Charlie O'Donnell is putting the distinguishing mark with an axe on the side of the tree. We usually use a single horse to twitch the logs to the yard, as it doesn't destroy as much young growth. As I wanted to be in the picture, I had Mr. McCreevy hold the camera on me while I came out to take the views of the 4 teams hauling the logs to the landing. On the first load, Bert Stanhope is teamster. On the second load, William Hudson is teamster. The logs on these sleds are very good-sized logs for an operation in Maine at this time. On the third load, Wilton Foss is teamster. You will notice a crooked log on the side. This is a cedar and will be sawed up in 16-inch bolts to make shingles. On the fourth load is Alfred Mealy, teamster. Poorest team we had in the lot, but they had the largest load this morning. The teams are unloading at the rolling pier at the west branch. Note the steam rising off the hosses. Owing to a tremendous rainstorm the day before, the stream overflowed and it was not deemed advisable to put the teams on the ice. I took this view to show the outfit that I used to travel through the woods, driving only one horse in a double track. The next scene is the main river camp. The building in back is the garage for the log hauler. The vehicle in front is the snowmobile. On the right, the hovel where the horses are kept. Sam Handy and Herbert Hatt are now cutting the trees on Township 31 below the Bacon place. This is the third crop of timber cut off this land under our system of cutting in the past 25 years. This is the Lombard log hauler, built at Waterville, Maine. Without it, we would have had to build 4 dams on Crooked River, an expense of $10,000 or $12,000. This is Edwin Blanche of Whitneyville arriving at the yard with a load of logs from Peaked Mountain. The loads on the front of the yard are ready for the log hauler just gone by. We are now showing the cutting of logs on Township 37. The cookee is taking lunch to the men. 27 years ago, this country was cleaned according to our system of operating by James McLean. And when I sent Mr. Oliver up there to cruise the lands, he thought it would be useless because he understood the timber was all cut. But you will note the trees cross-piled here. It is not a bad stand of timber grown in the past 27 years. Now, landing logs on Third Lake Old Stream. These logs are landed in a cove. A boom is put around them on the ice. When the ice goes out in the spring, they warp these logs in the boom down to the outlet, where they may be sluiced through the dam and driven into the Machias River. I took this view to make a record of logging sleds used on our river. The bunks of the sleds are 7 feet long. On the St. Croix River, they use sleds with a 5-foot bunk. Other places, they use 10 and 12-foot bunk.